Will the market go up or down? Should you lock in or float? Find out this and more with Master of the Markets, hosted by Barry Habib of MBS Highway. Brought to you by United Wholesale Mortgage.
Is TRID slowing you down? Not if you're closing with UWM. While other lenders are struggling, we're closing most TRID loans in 15 days or less, thanks to easy-to-use tools like UClose and Ease, and direct communication from submission to close. Get United at UWM.com.
Welcome to another edition of Master of the Markets. I'm Barry Habib at MBS Highway. This is created exclusively for Mortgage News Network, brought to you by United Wholesale Mortgage. They've got so many great tools for you, including Unite, where every month they will give your client a home mortgage value statement, which can help them go back to you when it's time to refinance or purchase. So, what a week it's been in the stock market. You kind of heard it first here, right? In the middle of December, towards the end of December, we really were issuing those warnings about the stock market, how thinking it was vulnerable. Our forecast for the year said we expect a 300-point drop in the S&P, maybe 350. Well, wouldn't you know it, about 250-point decline in the S&P. Now remember, that's S&P points, not Dow points, equivalent to a few thousand points in the Dow. So we called it first here. A lot of the technical reasons were important. You may recall we talked about that 2015, 2015. Towards the end of 2015 was a level on the S&P. We said if that's broken, watch out. It could go down towards 1820. Well, sure enough, where did it go? Right down towards 1820, just dipped a few points beneath that, and then we saw a rebound. The question is this rebound for real? Or is this just a head fake? Is the selling over? Is the selling done? There's a couple of important levels, some critical levels that I want you to look at here. So let's get right to it. Let's look at the charts. So first of all, here's that level we talked about here, the 2015. Once it was broken, look at the big downside move. Dropped all the way down to about 1812, hit that 1821 levels, briefly dipped just beneath it, and regained its footing for a big rally. Now, the levels that you have to watch for on the S&P are as follows: 1888 and 1935. A move above 1935 could be considered pretty bullish, and maybe this recovery in stocks could be for real. If it kind of languishes in this range and then dips back below 1888, then we could be looking at a kind of a head fake in the marketplace. So these are the things that we'll have to look for, and these are what we need to kind of be watching when we're watching the stock market. And as I've said before, I know a lot of you are very interested in that from a personal aspect, but also because it does impact the mortgage interest rate environment to a very high level. Mortgage interest rates kind of like on the opposite end of the seesaw with the stock market. As stocks do well, money comes out of the bond market. As stocks do poorly, money goes into the bond market, and that's what you've seen. You saw the 10-year Treasury note dip below 2%, right to our target of 1.95. But now it's kind of moved back above 2%, kind of waiting to see what the next move is for the stock market. This week, you're going to get a Fed meeting. And I think this is very important because when we see big moves in the stock market like this to the downside, lots of times you'll start to see Fed speakers come out of the woodwork and start to be supportive of the stock market and start to jawbone as to why the stock market, why the overall economy, what the Fed's going to be there to help the stock market. But you haven't seen that now. Why? Because it just happened to be the timing before a Fed meeting where those Fed members are in what you'd call a quiet period. So short players have kind of had their way here, but that's all going to end this week. And that's one of the reasons why the stock market may catch a little bit of a break. Look, I don't think the stock market selling's over until the Fed comes out and essentially abandons that crazy policy that they said, oh, we're going to have 4 rate hikes in 2016. That was lunacy. As you know, we thought there'd be no Fed rate hikes to maybe one. Well, if the Fed abandons that lunacy and comes down to earth, then I think you'll see a really solid stock market rally from these levels. But if the Fed at the end of this meeting starts to continue to beat the drum on this 4 rate hikes this year, and it seems appropriate, you may not have seen the end in the selling of the stock market. And remember, bonds are going to do the opposite as far as pricing goes, which means if stock prices rise again, bond prices will get worse, meaning interest rates go up, get worse. All right, we'll see what happens next week. Very, very interesting. And by the way, you want to follow this every day? We have covered this beautifully. Those of you that are on MBS Highway, you know, we navigated this most recently 100+ points that we gain by floating and locked at the exact right time for you and your customers. But it's not just that. All the housing data, all the insights every day. Shouldn't you be the expert, or do you want to be replaced by a automated mortgage system? Look, you've got to be able to produce value and give value. We do that for you every single day. Go ahead and log on. You know we've called the market perfectly. Go on and log on. You can start off for free and make a difference in your business. Wish you well.
Today's Master the Markets was brought to you by United Wholesale Mortgage.
At UWM, our AEs receive over 500 hours of training each year to keep you current with the industry. We give you direct access to your own team of underwriters who return your calls in 3 hours or less. And we provide exclusive products and tools that give your business a competitive edge. In fact, everything we do at UWM is dedicated to championing your success, which is why more brokers choose UWM than any other lender. World-class service, exclusive products, groundbreaking tools, and you. Get united with us at UWM.com.
This is Mortgage News Network.